First, so this industry, mobile money, has been around for about 8 years, actively in Pakistan. The problem which we have faced deploying has always been that it's been very vendor-driven in terms of what was the standard offering. And nobody actually looked at the inertia which these vendors bring to the mobile money space. Having said that, I think it's a great initiative by Karandaaz, and not only us, but I think every provider who's represented here is going to be perhaps using at it. And if they're not, they should seriously look at getting this expertise.
Okay, so there's lots of things that were very useful that were shown here. Things like showing an on-screen keypad when entering the amount or customer's account number. That's very useful, especially when we're operating with very basic small phones. Things like showing the live fee when you're entering the amount. That's also very useful. So I mean, these are all very practical things.
The session today was full of insights, and there are many things that practitioners can take back. For me, what jumped out was the way the people interact with Urdu versus English. And it's not necessarily that they like an Urdu app, but when nobody's looking per se and they're confused, they could turn on that feature. So the Urdu-English insight was a big one for me.
Absolutely. I think there's several things that we learned today that we can apply to the work that we're doing in terms of the apps that we're creating. The interface that was designed was very friendly. It was very applicable to people who are new onboarders of smartphones. So it was extremely useful to us.
Inertia is a big problem with any innovation in Pakistan. And getting these wireframes with half the work done and jump started, I think the onus is on the deployers and on the developers in this country to push this thing forward. And I think it's a great base to use it for the apps which are going to be coming, and given the advent of the smartphones.
Most of the concepts shared, we found them very useful, very relevant to the market and our target segment. We'll be evaluating most of these features going forward, and some of them you'll definitely be seeing on our app in the next few months.
Yeah, wireframes, I think that's a great move to make available the wireframes for all designers in various organizations. It's almost like the railroads on which you build the rail. So it gives you the opportunity to go out and differentiate on branding, but at the same time it's done the hard work of the railroads. I think it's a fabulous way of making sure that everybody optimizes on design.
The concepts that were shared today will absolutely be incorporated in the apps that we're creating. There were several things in there that we can apply today. Including this idea of having a virtual assistant that's guiding people, the way the translation is happening between English and Urdu. One of the key points that I think was very important to us is not just it's very simple, it preempts actions that the user needs to take. So it makes it very convenient to take next steps, and while you're performing actions, it's telling you what's needed, so you don't have to go through a lot of screens and move back and all of that. But was very impressed with the way it was conducted. It was very well thought through, and we will absolutely be using a few of the ideas in our designs.
When you design a mobile money application or anything which is financial services for the unbanked, one should really focus on the human-centric design concept of it, which has been lacking in multiple deployments in Pakistan.
Being financial institutions, being banks, we often miss wearing the bottom of the pyramid, the actual customer's experience hat. And I think it's a lesson for the industry that we must focus on HCD, not just on the mobile app, but also on other avenues, and get some learnings out of here. Try to focus more on human-centered design on all our products, not just the mobile app.
That we got to make sure that events like these are actually consumed by the real beneficiaries, which are actually the designers themselves. So, we got to go and do, take advantage of the online play, which I think we did. Designers all over Pakistan need to log into programs like these so that they get the ABCD of what's happening.
Way the user is guided through transactions, there are about 20 ways to do the same action. But what was very, very interesting for me, that really hit home, is the depth through which the user is guided through the various transactions and handheld to make it almost foolproof to reach the end result. Instead of expecting a user to follow a certain behavior, it's actually just like a railroad track, and the user just sits down and it guides them through the entire experience. That was fantastic.
There was one interesting thing that the speaker was telling, that you do not need to target the poorest of the poor for developing an app. You can target the moderate customers and develop an app which I think is a sane suggestion.